Dunce. Okay, Dunce it is.
Right. Well, what's the good wine?
The Martinez with Paula Kelly from here and Marion Hutton from Atlantic City.
Well, that sounds good to us, Herb. And now to prove that old world courtesy still lives, we'll say after you, New York.
Thanks, Ronnie. And now, Ronnie, and for that matter, England, Australia, and the British Dominions, stand by for a familiar greeting.
That sounds very interesting. Who is it?
Listen.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is
Roy Fox.
Right, Ronnie. I didn't think you could miss that greeting.
Well, hardly, Herb. Roy Fox happens to be one of the most popular and famous of our pre-war band leaders.
We know that, Ronnie. That's why we thought it'd be a pleasant surprise for you.
He certainly is. I say, Roy, do you ever get homesick for London?
Of course I do. Most Americans who work over there for any length of time develop a real affection for it. I hope to be back there soon and conduct a British band again. The one I had before the war broke us up made work a pleasure.
To say nothing of listening. Some of your discoveries have done extremely well, haven't they, Roy?
What discoveries, Roy?
Now, don't try to lure me into the ranks of the people who claim to have discovered stars, Herb.
Yes, but you will admit that you've helped a good many of them up the ladder. For instance, one of Ella Logan's first important jobs was with you, and also Denny Dennis, Mary Lee, and a few more, weren't there?
Yes, that's quite true. I was lucky to be among the first to find them.
Well, Roy, now's your chance to discover a new baritone. While in my bath this morning, I sang Long Ago and Far Away in a way that would make Bing Crosby feel ashamed.
Of whom?
Me.
Then promise me you won't try to sing anything while we play.
All right, Roy, I promise. Incidentally, you might tell him what you're going to play.
Gladly. It's a medley of Amour and Tico Tico.
Ronnie.
Hello there, Herb.
Ronnie,
Yeah?
stand by now for some transatlantic yelling.
Why, what's going on, Herb?
Well, when old American friends get together, there's usually a lot of backslapping and yelling, and right now, we're going to bring some old friends together. Is Major Glenn Miller standing by over there?
Yes, he's standing by on this side of the Atlantic, just as he was standing by on your side of the Atlantic on the first Atlantic Spotlight back on January the 1st this year.
You can bet we're standing by, Herb.
Well, then, meet some old employees of yours, the Martinaires.
Hiya, boss!
Hi, gang, the Martinaires. How about Paula? She there, too?
Here, Glenn.
In the flesh, huh?
Yeah, she's right in the flesh, Glenn.
Well, that's a good deal. How are they sounding these days, Herb?
Well, solid as ever. As a matter of fact, just as solid as when the Martinaires and Paula Kelly were an integral part of Glenn Miller's Moonlight Serenaders way back there in peacetime.
Well, we thought they were a pretty good outfit then. Too bad we can't arrange a transatlantic duet.
We thought of that, Glenn, but we couldn't rush the Martinaires arrangements to you fast enough. And besides, we didn't want to clutter up the mails going overseas. Incidentally, Glenn, we know that you'll be happy to learn that the Martinaires are currently knocking them dead at the Adams Theater in Newark, New Jersey.
Well, that's great. I'm sorry that we can't hear them over there. The best we can do is put them on the wireless over here. So let's get going. Go ahead, children.
I've got a heart filled with love for you, dear. For you, dear. Fill my heart with love. I've got a dream that is filled with you, dear. For you, dear. Fill my dream with love. The moment I saw you, I fell beneath your spell.
From the first time I kissed you,
Anyone could tell I've got a heart filled with love for you, dear. For you, dear. Fill my heart with love.
hello there, Paul.
Hello there, Bess. Tell me where you're going in your brand new dress.
There are two young fellas coming here in a hurry, and they both want to take me for a ride in the Surrey. Depends on what they bring me, which one's gonna stay.
You get more like your ma every day.
Here comes Clem. Say, what'd you bring?
Ah, not very much, just a little thing. I'm sure you're going to like it, and I'll tell you what I'll do. If you let me take you driving, I'll split it with you. I've got a jug full of corn for you, dear. For you, dear. I filled my jug with the corn.
Hello, Mortimer. What you got in your hand?
Oh, nothing.
Oh, come on and tell me. I'll understand.
Oh, can't think of it right now.
If you tell me you can take me out of driving tonight.
Oh, well, all right. I've got a heart filled with love for you, dear. For you, dear. Fill my heart with love. Oh,
Oh, Mortimer, the way you croon.
you mean I really make you swoon?
Let me be your Josephine. You thrill me so.
Well, giddy up, Napoleon. Oh, let's go.
The moment I saw you, I fell beneath your spell. The first time that I kissed you, anyone could tell. I got a heart that's filled with love for you, dear. For you were the one who filled my heart with
What do you say to that, Glenn?
Only one thing, Herb. That's terrific.
How about you, Ronnie?
Only two things. Solid and encore.
Well, an encore it is. The Martinaires and Paula Kelly, get this, Glenn, with a new tune knocked out by Hal Dickinson, one of the boys, Tabby Cat.
Scat, who's that? Strutting by and he looks so wide. Scat, who's that? Just as sharp as Sinatra's tie. Someone ought to put you in the know.
'Cause after all is said and done,
there ain't but the one. He walks around with a righteous air, because he knows that he ain't no square. He never misses a smart affair. That's Tabby the cat. He makes the rounds every single night, and let me say it's the strangest sight. He pats his foot when the rhythm's right. That's Tabby the cat. He's the playboy of the alley, running around doing the town. And 'cause he calls Count Basie Pally, all the kittens throw their mittens down. He wears a coat that's a cat's meow. He blinks his eyes and he takes a bow, because he knows when to holler, ow! Tabby the cat. Tabby, Tabby, he can tell you all the news. That's Tabby. Tabby, Tabby, he can really sing the blues. That's Tabby.
He always flashes a lot of green. There ain't a show that he hasn't seen.
He always sits in a mezzanine.
That's Tabby the cat.
He takes a cute little mouse to dine, and wears a suit really fits him fine.
I ought to know, 'cause it's one of mine.
That's Tabby the cat. He's the playboy of the alley, runs around, 'cause he calls Count Basie Pally, kittens throw their mittens down. He wears a coat that's the cat's meow. He blinks his eyes and he takes a bow, because he knows when to holler,
Ow!
tap, tap, Tabby, tap, tap, Tabby the cat. Meow.
Fine. That was fine, Herb. I wish you could have seen the faces of the boys in the band here. They loved it.
Loved it. That's great,
Yep.
Ronnie. What now, Ronnie?
Well, now, Herb, we come to Major Glenn Miller and the kind of orchestra that composers dream about. Your own newspapers have told you of their great success here, but we've been impressed not only by their artistry, but their tireless energy. They give innumerable concerts for the forces, they broadcast regularly to the forces overseas, and they somehow still find time to eat, sleep, and rehearse. Although the looks I'm getting now imply that the word sleep was a typographical error.
Say, we're lucky to get them for a few minutes now at that rate, huh?
I agree, and so as not to lose another few seconds of it, let me now introduce Major Glenn Miller, as if he needed an introduction.
Well, now to the folks at home, anyway. Hello, Major Glenn Miller and all your famous orchestra.
Hello, Herb. Here we go. It isn't often we pick a tune for its title, but today that's the main reason we're shooting one particular melody back to the Big 48. In the name of all the boys over here, whether they're from 79th Street in New York or from Monrovia, California, or Washington, D.C., this is the cue song for a happy day coming when we all go flying home. everybody's playing real loud then so his best gal would hear him. Here we go again with another tune. Ever since we've been over here flying around the AEF, we've had pleasure seeing a lot of new faces and a lot of new places. Our old friends, the Yanks, our new friends, the Tommies, all seem to get a big boot out of the same kind of music. And here's Sergeant Johnny Desmond to sing one of the songs that's hitting the big time on both sides of the Atlantic. I'll be seeing you.
We'll be seeing you. I hope soon, too.
Herb, you can warn the United States from me that it's going to take a lot of force to get the orchestra away from their host of fans over here.
Oh, we're waiting for them patiently and impatiently, I should say.
I bet.
Ronnie, if I may, I'd like to interrupt this little shindig with some history making.
History, Herb? Not another transatlantic bridge game.
Well, practically the same thing. A transatlantic duet. Is Glenn Miller still standing by over there?
Right here, Herb.
Well, good. Because it's time for you to meet another one of your peacetime hirelings. Now, if the Atlantic City, New Jersey end of this party line is working, we should hear from somebody else you know. How about it, Marion Hutton?
This is Marion Hutton in Atlantic City.
What do you say, Marion? What are you doing so far from New York?
You should talk. I'm down here filling an engagement at the Steel Pier.
Well, fine. We're over here with a couple of million lads who are filling sort of a cute engagement over here, too.
Yes. We've heard that they've been a smash hit of late.
Well, this is really like old home week. Now, if everything works out all right, our history should be made with a melodious bang.
Oh, I get it. Glenn Miller's band in London accompanies Marion Hutton singing in Atlantic City in a number announced by Herb Sheldon in New York. That's simple.
Oh, yeah, very simple. I'd like to have you working the switches on this hookup, Bub. Well, enough of that anyway. On with our duet.
Right. Major Glenn Miller raises his baton in London.
And Marion Hutton raises her voice in Atlantic City. And the two neatly join to form an old favorite done now in transatlantic style. Jukebox Saturday Night.
Mopping up soda pop Ricky to our heart's delight. Dancing to swing-a-roo quickie, jukebox Saturday night. Goodman and Kaiser and Miller help to make things bright. Mixing hot mix with vanilla, jukebox Saturday night. They put nothing past us, me and Honey Lamb, making one cold blast us till it's time to scram. Money we really don't need that, we'll make out all right. Let me out the guy beat that jukebox Saturday night. After sipping a soda, we got a scheme. Somebody else played the record machine. It's so easy to play that name when you listen to the trumpet of Harry James. Whenever the ink spots sing a tune. If I didn't know why the roses grow, then I wouldn't know why the roses grow. Honey child, if I didn't know all the little things I was supposed to know, then I sure wouldn't be one of them there ink spots. If I didn't know. Oh, 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 oh.
Say, that was great, Marion, and good luck to you in Atlantic City. Now I think we have time for more of that Major Glenn Miller music. What say, Glenn?
Well, I'll tell you what. We got a little tune cooked up here that makes every Yank over here feel right at home because it brings back a little touching of old times, if you know what I mean.
Well,
makes him think of his gal friend, his Polly or Kay or Joy or Helen or Marge, Nancy or Connie, some gal like that, you know?
Right.
And I'm happy to say it's just about as popular here as it is over there. It's in the move.
Fine. clock says we must sign off, so this is Herb Sheldon in New York signing off and saying goodbye till next week. Our thanks to the Modernaires and everybody. So long, gang.
The program you've just heard was
Atlantic Spotlight is presented jointly each Saturday by the British Broadcasting Corporation and the National Broadcasting Company. Script in London is by Jim Derenforth. In New York by Peter Harkins. Next week, Atlantic Spotlight presents a special broadcast from Hollywood. Atlantic Spotlight is produced by Tom Ronald in London and in New York by Ross Fillion. This is the National Broadcasting Company.